Hello everyone, Bill Parish here from GTT Audio, and welcome to the channel today. Or more specifically, welcome inside the studio, and I have Louis Desjardins of Kronos Audio here. Louis.
How are you doing, Bill?
It's a big week. It's a big week.
Yeah, it was a fun week.
Thank you for coming down. So, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, Louis and I have done some periodic videos talking about the Perpetual turntable that we have right here in front of me, the Discovery Phono stage, which we're going to visit in a couple of minutes. But
was it a year and a half ago you came to Montreal to hear these things the first time?
I think so. And we did a video, and oh my! I mean, it was revolutionary there. I've heard it along the way, and we saw the products. Greg Weaver and I showed up in Montreal in March.
That's right.
We got to see it. We brought you a video introducing it then. And then we heard it at the Munich show.
Exactly.
And then what people don't realize is, it still takes some time. Like that was the first one. That was the first production piece, which was a sample. And then you have to go into production, which takes about 6 months to build a turntable. If you didn't have a turntable today and we said, build us a Perpetual, what would it take?
Well, we don't build one. We build 25 at a time.
Exactly.
But this production cycle takes about 6 months.
That's what I'm getting at. Yeah. So here it is, the first one in North America outside of, or in the U.S. outside of Louis' place, and it is all that I thought it was going to be. And then it's even more.
Well, thank you very much, Bill, first of all. And I echo your sentiment, because to me, when I designed it, when I built it, of course, we're aiming high.
Right.
And we want to have the best performance and the best design, or the best, execution of this design as possible. But I also feel surprised by how far we could take this, and how gratifying it would be as a finished product.
Yeah, well, naturally everyone wants to think, is this the replacement of the Pro? But the Pro was a limited edition. So it's just that we sold the 250. It's not that it was discontinued. It just sold the 250 and it's gone now. And so then you had the Sparta as your, I hate to say entry point, but that's your most affordable turntable. And then we have the Discovery, which for super reference tables is quite affordable, but you're always pretty sane with your pricing. But that's at that level, and this sort of meets in the middle of where that is. And so you did a really good job there. But with that said, I think the performance is vastly superior to the Pro. And I would not say shouting distance of the Discovery. I would say whisper distance of the Discovery. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
It's very close.
Thank you enough for that.
Yeah.
So what I've been saying to you and to other people is that the Perpetual is not a Super Pro. It is really a Discovery Junior.
Exactly.
And when we say junior, we're not talking about a lot of years younger. We're talking about almost twins, and who came out first versus the second one, but very, very close.
Yeah, they're very good.
A little bit different in presentation.
True.
But really carrying the Discovery DNA.
Yes. Yeah, well, I see this, and we'll pop some photos up, but I see this as I see all three of your previous turntables in here. I see Sparta, I see Pro, I see Discovery. It's all in there, and that's what it is. It's all your work and your years in the three tables. It's the accumulation of all that implemented into In my opinion, I'll just say it's aesthetically, it's my favorite table so far that you've been able to do. I mean, aesthetically, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's the easiest and most simple to set up. How you ship it is you've learned you've learned along the way. I mean, it's really cool.
If we might use different words to say this, I would say that this is probably the most mature commercial product that we've come up with.
Yep, I think that's a very fair way of saying it. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Louis, I'll just say, listen, I mean, Louis and I just spent an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours in here listening to music. Who was it? Gary Carr on
That's right.
Doing some operatic airs that were transcribed for double bass and piano. Gary Carr it's on a super disc, Japanese import
super analog disc.
Super analog disc.
Very good
and
record.
He's the bassist. The double bass he was playing was over 400 years old.
Yeah. It's called a basso cantabile, in case somebody would be wanting to find this record.
Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal.
So this brings us to an interesting point, is this table relative to the Pro, because of course a lot of the products we do are addressed to our previous customers, not only to them, but
sure.
But
well, we want to attract new as well.
For our existing customers to understand where this goes, where the Pro didn't quite go, is in the quietness. It's much more quiet, but
yep.
The bass resolution
yeah.
is out of this world. And this is really something that's not easy to do.
No, it's really like Discovery there.
Yeah. With record players. Yeah. And the bass foundation
so
is
low, but yet so transparent, and the
right.
resolution that he's talking about. And when we talk about bass resolution, I mean, this is where so many people don't understand. They don't have source equipment, cables, amplifiers, or speakers that can do it. But true resolution, true bass is never a boom. It's never a boom. Hi-fi is a boom. But I used to go to, I had an inn, and I could go to Riverside Church on Wednesdays on the Upper West Side and sit in a room about this size and listen to, maybe twice this size of the big room, and listen to the Orpheus Chamber Orchestra rehearse. And I could walk around the basses. I mean, there was one time I was this far from Perlman, who was, going to be, that's a whole other story. But you could walk around the bassist and hear what was going on. And that's what we heard in the recording today. Yeah.
And it's not about more bass, louder bass.
No, it's resolute bass.
It's about having as much information in the bass as you'd have in the mid-range.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about, all the information of the music's in the mid-range, but with this table, you have it all the way. The recording we were listening to was going down to 10 hertz.
Yeah.
It said. And I wouldn't be surprised if this table delivers that. I mean, there is a level of information, even subsonic, that makes everything lifelike and very realistic.
Yeah, and of course, using the Discovery tone arm and the Perpetual supercapacitor power supply. You probably see up here we're using AudioNet because Louis didn't bring me multiple Discovery phonos, but and then the which you can't see offline, but we'll have a picture of the whole setup. We've got the power supply that charges the supercap power supply.
Well, and the power supply, whether somebody takes the optional supercap, the SCPSD, or not, the power supply that comes with the table can power the SCPSD, or it can directly power the Perpetual. Now, one thing interesting about the Perpetual is that we have two super cap banks within the base of the table. That means that even if you weren't to get the SCPSD, you'd still have one stage of super cap.
That's right.
But there's one bank for each platter, basically. But in terms of the playing platter, you have one stage. When you add SCPSD, what you're getting
SCPSP.
there's two additional stages of super caps. That
Right.
means that you have three super cap banks in series. And I mean, somebody,
You can hear it. Yeah.
You can hear it. Yeah, exactly.
That's that simple. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we should go down and
Absolutely.
to the big room and let's talk about the Phono stage.
See you in a few minutes.
And here we are down in the big room with the full Discovery analog solution by Kronos. We've got the Discovery RS tone arm. We've got the Discovery turntable. We have the Discovery SCPS. And now these three boxes, we have the Discovery Phono stage. Louis, wow.
It's exciting.
Wow.
It's an exciting thing.
So we're hearing this. Too bad this wasn't here a month and a half ago when I had all the journalists in for the Moya launch, which many of you followed. This is... I don't know where to begin, but I guess one of the biggest things that just baffles my mind is the absolute and utter silence on an all-tube phono stage.
You're absolutely right about that. It is the quietest phono I've heard, whether solid state or phono based. Mm-hmm. And this really took a lot of work. Just the routing of the signal paths on the board. We've put back and designed 4 times to make sure we didn't have any induction, we didn't have any noise coming from one line to another, there wasn't any interference. We've built this chassis with a suspension.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It has mu metal shielding for the whole chassis. I mean, we've really gone very, very, very deep in making this the most possibly the quietest we could, but being very careful not to lose the subtlety and the details and the signal.
Well, you've achieved it. I mean, yes, super quiet. The resolution is off the charts. It is, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous. We sat there and we did one track where we were comparing an HDTT, which is the master tape direct pull to quad DSD, playing that on the NADAC versus the LP on this, and the results were surprising. But my God, how close, right? I mean, it just this.
Well, this had a bit of an edge.
Oh yeah, of course
one.
it did, and yet that's the master.
Yeah,
that is the master that we were listening to, and what we were getting off of a good, very good record. I think, it was an org. So one of Yang Tan's records, just incredible. But we listened hours and hours and hours down here. Yesterday we installed one at a very happy friend's, and he was.
He's not usually one to gush. Our customer there, but he was so happy, and he shook my hand 3 times. I mean, he was really, really happy.
Well, he was the first one to get a Pro in the
That's
U.S.
Right.
The first one to get a Discovery turntable in the U.S. The first one to get 2 Discovery arms in the U.S. And the first one to get a Discovery arm, but he got 2, and the first one to get the Discovery Phono stage. And yes, but boy, he was excited too.
Now-
And fellas, these aren't broken in yet. I mean, wait until
So really, what they would need would be like, just for the tubes, about 25, 40 hours.
Well, then you got the step-up transformers,
That's right.
the power transformers, which are not small in
the
there.
capacitors.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at maybe 300 hours, 200 hours, for things to. But right out of the box, you know what kind of beast you're dealing with.
Oh yeah, right out of the box, it's whoa. Yes, no, it's.
Now, you talk about masters just
Yes.
before,
Yeah.
but we could also relate our experience at our other customer.
Oh yeah.
Just before
yeah,
that
yeah,
trip,
yeah.
I my last trip to Asia, that was what 2 months ago,
A month and a half. Yeah, we did that one.
and there was a Niagara tape machine with the what's it called again, the preamp, the Doshi preamp. And we had the Discovery. The customer already had the Discovery
Right,
with the
right.
Discovery RS tone arm,
We
and
put
they
one of these
installed a
in.
new Phono, and they were just.
It was one of those. The guy from Canada does the, I forget what he called it, 2 HD,
Two times HD.
2 times HD tape done with the Niagara and the record, like a one-step record of 2 times HD, and the record just whooped it. Whooped it.
It did. So
I think I heard he's selling the tape machine.
yeah, he is actually. He called me to thank me again, maybe a week ago, and he says, Louis, that tape machine is leaving my house. I don't need it anymore. But I mean, this sounds like something really exaggerated to say.
Yeah, it's not.
Because people tend to think, well, the tape is the original, but we have to remember nothing's going to be better than the mastering tape on the original mastering machine, from which the lacquer is going to be cut or a copy tape will be made. Now, what we found out is playing back through the system, there's less loss in cutting a lacquer and printing a record than there is in copying a tape and playing it on another tape machine.
Oh, yeah.
Even if that tape machine is of the same brand
Yep.
and everything, there is a loss that is bigger than what you get through an LP.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not talking about whether tape is a necessary medium or not. It is. It is a work medium. It is a production medium. But for playback, I don't think you can get any closer to the mastering tape playing on the mastering machine than a record playing on this particular system.
What we're getting out of this system with this phono stage, just arm, table,
And the Perpetual will do it as well.
like we said, it's in whispering distance of this.
Yeah.
Yes, it's incredible. But this is the star of the show here. I mean, the first half was the Perpetual, and this we've all heard about. But this, I just can't emphasize enough what a game changer this is, and compatible with Kronos tables or not Kronos tables as well.
Yes.
You don't have to have just a Kronos table to get the best phono stage.
Talking about compatibility,
Yes.
you know that we have all kinds of ground.
Oh, this is huge. Well,
yeah.
pay attention to look at the camera and tell these folks about
So
this.
there's a lot of places where we can live ground or apply ground. So we have full compatibility. There is no whatsoever coming out of this phone.
Oh, well, we said it's the quietest ever. But yes, I mean, we can make it hum through the speakers, and we can quiet it. I mean, what he's telling you is there's little dip switches in places where...
It's not noise reduction. It's not filtering.
No,
it's actually applying the ground or
different
engaging
ways.
or disengaging the ground. Now, about compatibility as well, this is a single-ended design, but we do have output transformers that turn this into a balanced signal going to any balanced signal preamplifier.
Oh, yeah.
So it is fully compatible with a balance system. it is, of course, fully compatible with a single-ended system. Additionally, we do have an EQ, as we had in the old one, that is just a little bit of filtering to adapt different records. If something is really too bright and something is really too muffled, let's say as a recording, you can have a little bit of a place where you can filter a little bit the high frequencies or the low frequencies.
Yeah, you're
but
doing
that at
1
the
and
R-
2 dB steps is what you're doing.
They're not dBs. They're -1, -2. It's not in dB.
okay.
But it's basically saying that one is a little bit more and one is a little bit less on the high frequencies or on the low frequencies. So in that sense, very compatible.
There's 2 inputs.
2 inputs and a mute. So 2 inputs and a mute. And for each input in the back, you preset for each, whether it's going to be a 1 to 10 ratio on the low or a 1 to 20 ratio on the low. Basically, that covers pretty much all cartridges.
Right.
Because we match enough the internal impedance of the cartridge to the internal impedance of the step up, which is the idea. So this is really, and you can turn on brighter or turn off the display. Now, this is not a digital display. I insist on that. It is an analog display. Each of these little squares get lit up by an individual bulb. So this doesn't have a chip in it that might bring some additional noise into the music. On the Phono stage issue, because it's 66 dB gain, let's say on a 0.25 millivolt cartridge, more or less, we're talking about 2 to the power 22. So for 66 dB, every time you add 3 dB, you double. So from 0 to 3, 3 to 6, 6 to 9, you end up with multiplying 2 by itself 22 times. So that's like 1 to 1 million linear ratio. So the slightest amount of noise, is detrimental. So this is a fully analog display, and it's a little bit old school, the way things used to be with individual lights for things. But this is very important, that there's no computer behind this display.
One other thing I want to add when we talk about inputs is, so there's 2 inputs, as we said, but each of the 2 inputs, you have an option of RCA input or direct input from a Kronos arm. So he's got the Kronos DIN input, or you can go RCA.
It's called a binder connector.
Yeah, the binder connector.
We use that rather than DIN because they lock in place and they have a better contact. But basically, yes. So direct input using our tone arm
saves you an interconnect for sure,
and a couple of connections.
Yeah,
so there you have a gain as well in terms of resolution and phase. I mean, the phase, when we talk about resolution, it's not just detail. Is that the phase is correct throughout the frequency range.
Exactly.
And that is a big thing. So avoiding one interconnect is always helpful in that case. To continue just about the specs, there are 2 power supplies, one for each channel, and these are using GZ32 rectifier tubes, so 1 GZ32 each. And this thing is loaded with transformers. We couldn't put everything in one chassis, so we have 2 chassis. And of course, here is completely dual mono. Even if it's in one chassis, it's completely dual mono. So 4 tubes in the signal, 2 per channel, and 2 tubes in the power supply. So it's a total of 6 tubes, which is, phonos that were using like 24 tubes or something.
Yeah.
And that's a bit of a lot of maintenance, but this is really easy to live with.
Louis, you hit it out of the park with both of these products.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon. And wherever you are, I'll be traveling somewhere.